wake up in a panic, we're in over our heads again. We know this is what we're meant to do. So we wake up, put our feet on the floor, go and conquer the day like a warrior, like warriors. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business and life. That's right, that's right. No need to panic anymore. We got lots of support and an army of warriors by our side. We fight the good fight when we unite. We fight the good fight when we unite. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business and
Hi, everybody. My name is Sondra Ray, and I am the host of the Coffee Shop Show, sponsored by Explore ProTech. We have minor technical difficulties today, so we're recording this, and the amazing Susan will get this uploaded to YouTube. So we apologize for not being live. Monday is Monday, Monday of Mondays. Tech is great when tech is great until it's not. So today we are talking about feedback and continuous improvement. So, if you didn't know, the show is for business owners, big, small, startups, and everything in between, to talk about all the relevant topics of building a business, keeping a business going, and all the things that we come from our point of view. I think between me and Peter, we have like almost 10 years of entrepreneurship under our belt. And of course, Hendrick too. Hendrick is unique, different than us because he has a physical business where we have online services. So that's where we come from. So let's get into it. So feedback is something that a lot of people not a lot. Some people associate with negative, like feedback. You don't want feedback. You don't want the criticism. You don't want the bad reviews. Da da da. Da. But feedback is what you make of it. So feedback is something that what you make of it, whether you're going to use it to improve yourself, you're going to ignore it, you're going to ask for it or not ask for it. Feedback is really what you build it around. I build it around making myself better, making the show better, making my products better, making my services better, being a better host and a person. So feedback is something you should be continuously asking for. We ask for it. I think almost every single show we ask for feedback, like hit us up, let us know how we're doing in the comments and so on and so forth. Definitely different ways you can ask for feedback, just straight up ask for it. You can have surveys, you can have forms, you can do polls on your social media and be like, hey, what do you get from my page? Or hey, did you like this webinar? Yes or no? And then why? If you're going to ask yes no questions, ask the why, because some people just say no to say no, and some people say no and there might be some value, and why did they say no, and that can help you. So definitely asking for feedback is extremely important, and then applying the feedback. Not all feedback's great, not all feedback's going to apply, but the purpose of asking for feedback is to improve yourself and your business. Ask for feedback internally inside your team, or contractors or whoever's working with you, and then ask for feedback, of course, publicly for your services and so on and so forth. Past clients, customers, current customers, even future ones. Like what does it look like for us to sell to you, or what do you think it wants to look like, or so on and so forth, and keep a track of it, like a document or a spreadsheet or a folder or something, so you can refer back to that. um, Asking for testimonials is also feedback because it gives you, what did they think of you, like, some people don't think testimonials are feedback, but it is. It's in a way it is. It's saying this is what they thought of you and this is what they thought, what they thought they got out of your services. So, and I would say ask for feedback minimum every 90 days when you're doing that quarterly review, but I would be asking feedback weekly, every time a client comes in or new customer comes in, when they come in and when they leave and during. So it should be something that's a regular task in your business as a business owner. Um, yeah, I would say weekly or monthly, depending on how big your business is and um, who you're working with. Um, and as subcontractors, to the ones you hire and the ones that hire you. So both sides of that. I've had some good experiences and I've had some bad. One of them has been very recent. I was very surprised. Um, and give it in a way, give the feedback in a way that you're doing it to help them improve, and then vice versa. Ask for feedback in a way to help yourself improve. Um, you know, and have your goals in front of you. Are you reaching your goals? Like, that's a good thing. My goal was to make you feel like a VIP. Did I make you feel like a VIP? Word it that way can help, because that's also going to help you track and measure things, goals, KPIs, whichever way you want to do it, depending on your type of business. Peter, come on in.
Yeah, I think that there's different ways of getting feedback and different reasons for needing it. If you're in an online space, you obviously have a very particular target audience that you are targeting, and then that's the particular audience that you want to target when you are getting feedback, and you're looking for feedback from their perspective. So you've got to do it in such a way that you're actually getting what they really think. Because if you can manage to get what they really think, you can save your process. For instance, you've created something online, you want people to book tickets for something, but their experience is they've got to jump through too many hoops to actually get to the ticket. And that's irritating to them. And you want to know. You don't want to get offended because people go, oh, your process is irritating. You want to be like, oh, oops, how is it irritating? Because I need to change that. I need to figure out how to make a way that people can just access what I'm presenting to them with no mess, no fuss, no hassle. You book a ticket, it's simple. So getting feedback can really save your bacon. However, if you're in a physical space and you're not targeting thousands of customers or hundreds of customers, but you're targeting maybe 10 major main clients, um, your feedback from them is vital, because if you're not keeping them happy, you want to know sooner rather than later, because they are your 10 major clients. You have maybe 10 major contracts, and if just three of them go, you know what, we're really not happy, um, you want to know in time. You want to know in time enough to go, let me fix what didn't make you happy so that I can make you happy before I run out of time. Um, because you want to maintain those clients, you want to keep those clients, you want to build on those clients. Um, and sometimes, you know what, we as business owners, we can really mess up with a client. We really can, to the point where a client goes, I really don't want to use you anymore. You've really messed up. You can step into that space in a positive manner and save it if you are asking for the right feedback and positioning the right things and putting the right things in place to go, you know what, you pointed something out. This is extremely important. Thank you so much for pointing it out. I have already put this and this and this in place, or I have established this training for my staff to solve that problem for you. Can you help me to keep track of whether or not I have solved the problem? Then the person that is complaining now becomes part of the solution. So there are some very clever ways of including your customers in your journey, to the degree that they're not only your customers, but they're helping you build your space, and you're keeping them happy at the same time. I know a lot of people don't know how to save situations like that, and they're like, "Oh my goodness me, I just lost a client. I need to go find another one." Not necessarily. It depends on how you approach the situation with the person that you did not make happy, and how do you involve them in the process of making them happy. And I know 9 times out of 10, people like to be recognized. They like to be considered smart. They like to be. So if they say, "You didn't make me happy and you didn't make me happy because of this reason," you can ask them, "What would you suggest? What would you suggest that I can put in place that would make you happy?" And they'd be like, "Oh, well, actually, if you just did this, I would be happy. That's a brilliant idea. I'm going to put that in place. Can you let me know what the results are?" They've just become part of your solution and part of the process of solving the problem. That's actually their issue that you can fix. So, different spaces have different reasons as to why you ask for feedback. I also know there's this pandemic of people going, "Hi, we've met. Can you give me a referral, or can you give me a no, I don't know you. I haven't really used your services." But people go, "Hey, we've met online. We've had a meeting. Can you send me a oh, what do they call it? Um, oh, Sondra, help me out here. It's not a referral, but can you write me a
Testimonial.
testimonial?" There we go. But you haven't even really experienced the person's services, but they're driving for testimonials so they can take those testimonials and push it out to the rest of the world to showcase how amazing they are. Don't be like that. If you're going to get a testimonial from somebody, get it because it's A, it's genuine, and B, don't push for them. And genuine feedback is more relevant than just pushing for copious amounts of testimonials. You can have thousands of testimonials and still be a very terrible space. Thousands of testimonials don't make a great space, but honest feedback, in other words, "You really suck. Oh my goodness me, how do I fix this? I have to make this space unsuck. We have to fix it." But don't push for testimonials that don't really mean anything. If somebody's going to give you a testimonial, it's going to be because they decided to give it to you because you did a really, really good job, and it just clicked in their brain, and they were like, "Oh my goodness me, you gave me the absolute best service. You solved my problem, and I'm going to write you a testimonial." So if you can create that process to a point where, okay, I'm solving your problem. If I'm not solving your problem, help me to fix the problem for you so that I can solve your problem. I'm here for you. And if I'm not fixing your problem, help me fix it. And people love it. And the testimonials will just naturally come through. Peace out.
So very true. I used to be, I don't want to say willy-nilly, but like if I met with somebody for coffee or whatever, get to know you chat, I would refer people blindly. And I was like, okay, and it bit me in the butt more than once. And I'm like, okay. Or just because they were in the same circle as me or the same community or whatever. And then I was like, okay, wait. So there's a word vetted. So vetted resources or vetted referrals is usually either you've personally worked with them or you know them inside and out or whatever. That word has weight with it. So definitely, I don't use it lightly. And um, I usually stick to vetted resources. If not, then I'll say, hey, I know these people. I'll be honest, I've never worked with them, but I ran into them at a networking event. Here's their information. So I'll be honest about it and be like, here's a resource. I can't tell you yes or no. I can tell you what I know about them, and you get to make a choice. Because there's just so many different types of services out there that sometimes I don't know anybody personally in that circle. Um, the other thing is that when you're niched down, especially when you're in very specific circles or even areas, bad things get spread way faster, like wildfire, than good things. So if you cross the wrong person in your, you know, I don't know, um, group of, moms that sell coffee on the side of the road, like if you cross somebody in your community or somebody in that circle, it's way harder to fix that um, than it is if things, what is it? Like you get 1 negative to 3, 1 positive to 3 negatives or something like that. So you want to, like Peter said, you want to get on top of that. There are some people you're not going to please. There's going to be people that you're going to be like, you jump through hoops, offer them I mean, I had one where I offered a refund, and I was just like, no, I just don't. And I'm like, part of my services is coaching. If you're not coachable, it's not a win-win. Like I just had to break it off as she wasn't willing to be coached by the way I was coaching. Maybe it could have been just that simple, or whatever it was. And I'm like, okay. And we parted ways. Um, so sometimes you can't fix it. Sometimes you just got to be like, okay, go after your loyal customers, help them, and so on and so forth. But yeah, and then I also just acknowledging that you messed up can go a really, really, really long way. Hey, that's not what I meant, or I'm sorry, or one of my phrases is life was lifening and I need to catch up. I'm behind. I know I'm behind. And this is what I'm going to do to fix it. Can go a very, very long way. What ruffles my feathers is if you don't respond at all. If I say, hey, this isn't working, or how do we make this work? And it's crickets after crickets after crickets, I think I'm on my 3rd way of trying to contact them. Hopefully they will respond this week. It's like, hello, what the heck? Um, and even if you're like, hey, here's your money back, I don't want to work with you. I'd rather you say that versus just ignoring me, took my money and run, ghosted me. That's the word I'm looking for. Don't ghost people. Like answer them. And sometimes it can be, if it goes down a long negative tunnel, you might have to ghost them after, it's going nowhere. There are times for that, but those are few and far between. So don't ghost people. Just respond and be like, hey, my bad, or there's no way I can fix this, or it's out of my control, or fix it, or say how you're fixing it. But I'm very big on transparency. I've seen behind too many closed doors and didn't like what I seen and how people were treated, and how business owners felt about the small clients. And since I run a small business, that is something that I get very, what's the word? Heated about, I guess is the word I would say. I'm like, yeah, that's because the small clients is what they started with. Now that just because they have the huge, large clients doesn't mean the small people don't matter. I guess that's the word I'm looking for that. Um, it's interesting. I was one of the first to walk away in a pretty decent sized circle, and last I knew there was only like 3 out of like 200 of us left. So it was crumbling, and I was just one of the first that was like, yep, I'm out. I'm not staying. I'm not going to be associated with this anymore. And didn't badmouth anybody. I just said, hey, I've moved on to something else. But it's very interesting to see. Now I talked to somebody the other day, and they're just like, yep, nope, I walked away, blah, blah, blah. And so walked away, and so walked away. And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize everybody walked away. I knew a lot walked away. I didn't know that many. But just, it's about treating people humanly, acknowledging people, like Peter said, make people feel special. That's part of improving, you know, sometimes you don't get it right the first time. Sometimes it takes, work. It's going to take work. Not sometimes, it'll take work. Go ahead, Peter.
A while ago, I think I gave a shout out to a space called the Yuppie Chef. I spoke about it a while back, and we ordered something from their site. It was delivered ASAP. The service was brilliant. The personalized service was great. And then we had a problem. Something went wrong with the product. And I was like, your instant reaction is, well, I'll never buy from that place again because of the product. But then upon reaching out to them and going, hey, I've got this problem. This is what's happened. Their response was spot on. They literally sent me an email going, okay, we value your feedback. This is what we are going to do to fix this problem. Within so many days, somebody's going to come and collect the product from you. Could you please try and, if you still have the original packaging, could you please pack it back into the original packaging? A driver will arrive to come and collect. It goes through this particular process where our technicians take a look at the product, and we will definitely 100% either repair or replace the product. You will have your working product back within X amount of days. Within the time that they said the driver would arrive, the driver arrived. He collected the product. He gave me a slip to say that he had collected the product. I signed for that. I then get an email back after my product has been gone saying your product is at this point in the process, and these are the steps we are going to take next to make you happy. So I had a negative experience, but it's turned into a positive experience because I know that if I go and buy from that space again, if I have a problem, the process that they have put in place to make sure that I am happy is impeccable. I'm going to buy from them again, 100%. And I think that's a mistake that most places make. They think that, we're going to sell this product, we're going to mass sell this product, and we're going to have a terrible after sales service. We're just going to focus on the sales, the sales, the sales. But what people don't understand is that if you have great after sales service and that great feedback space, you retain the people that buy from you. And when they need to buy something else, if I now need to go buy a vacuum cleaner, or I need to buy something else for the house, or I need to put in a portable air conditioner, or where do you think I'm going to go? I'm going to go to the place that their aftermarket sale or their after sales process is one that values my opinion, looks after me and makes sure that I am happy, will take a product and send it in, will replace a product without batting an eyelid, because they're about making sure that their customers are happy. When you sell products, you are going to get, in a large amount of products, you are going to get something defective or something broken or something cracked or something. You don't have that service afterwards. People just write you off as a space. They're like, we will never buy from there again. We've tried to return this product. There's nobody communicating. There's nobody. Deputy Chef, gee, I reckon you guys get, if we had to rate them out of 5 stars, they'd still get the 5 stars purely because of their service afterwards.
Yeah, that's really good. Especially I think when you're product based, and not just because you're guaranteed something, like just because you're a human being selling a product. Um, but you can use that in client services too. So when you're parting ways with a client for whatever reason, have an offboarding system. Like ask for feedback, ask for um, what their future needs are. Can you circle back around and check in with them? Um, do they want to be on a newsletter? Ask permission. Don't automatically put them there. Ask permission. Um, you know, I and I should get back to this, but my coffee chats always said I'll check in with you every quarter because I want to know what's going on, which is a process I need to get back to. And people were like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'd love to talk to you in 3 months, 4 months." Um, because life changes, people's things change, people's goals change. So definitely do that. And I think I had somebody um, who I sell her product, and she's like, I'm checking in with all my clients, past and current, to see what they need for 2026. Now, could it be gimmicky salesy? I don't think so because I know her. I honestly think generally she wants to know what can she do to make her current clients um, and past clients, because I know past clients too, how can she help them in 2026? I mean, she sells software, she sells definitely solutions to things. Um, but yeah, I thought it was really cool. She's like, make an appointment with me. I want to hear your 2026 goals. How can I help you shape the software you have with me to meet those goals, and so on and so forth. Um, and honestly, it was short. It wasn't complicated. It was click here, and like you said, less clicks. Click, make appointment. This is what you're making an appointment for. This is what I want. End of story. It wasn't 50,000 clicks or anything like that, which is very, very important. I have a client that's selling tickets to an event next year, and we've tried our very, very best to make it. You click to the sales page and that's it. Like you don't have to jump through a gazillion million hoops because we do that's less clicks is definitely better. Hendrick, I would definitely, like I said, you're in a very different space than us. So I'm sure feedback comes in different ways and used in a little bit different manner. So good evening, sir.
Evening, everyone. I'm actually going to add on what Peter has already alluded on. Whenever because I'm in a physical space, obviously, we have to get our feedback or be the constructive criticism directly from the guys that we work with. I think in addition to what Peter has said, it is very important that when this feedback is given to you, you need to follow up on it and also show proof that you do take their input into consideration in how you run business or how you do business with them. Because it doesn't assist. Every year you go to your client and say, what do you think about my team? And then your client constantly tells you that I'm not happy about this element of how you do business with us. And then you keep on repeating the same mistake. Because unfortunately, it's going to actually lead to what Peter said. When a client feels that you only care about what they provide you with, which is something of monetary value, and you do not take into consideration how they'd like to be treated, it sometimes it leads to sour relationships, or worst case scenario, they end up canceling the deals that they had with you because they can find someone who's willing to work with them. I look at it in the sense that whenever I hire also, I normally say I'm looking for the right attitude. For skills, I can always train someone or teach someone new skills, but I cannot teach someone the right attitude. So if you are bringing in an attitude of defiance, you are going to defy what these customers are seeing. It's their way or their culture. Because remember, when you do business physically with other people, they'd like you to blend in with their culture or how they've been practicing. There's safety, there's quality. So people value them differently. You'd find some people value safety more than quality, and then you'd find that some people value quality more than value. So you can only find out about those once you speak with your clients and understand what is it that they expect from you, and then you learn from that, and then you try to include that in your day-to-day operations with them.
I love that. I love that, Hendrick. Yes, definitely. When you're hiring someone, that is definitely extremely important. Whether you're hiring them to do stuff in your business or you're hiring them to do, whatever you're hiring them for, like you said, attitude, value, what do they value is super, super important. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, I think what Hendrik is actually saying is extremely important, and you could look at that space from the back foot, where you create a space for your client to say, this is what's going wrong, and then you are permanently trying to fix it. So you're permanently on the back foot. But there is an advantage to actually stepping onto the front foot and going and developing your relationship with your client to a degree where you are expressing to them that the way that you like to do business is to blend with them and be ahead of problems. So if something is going to become a problem, that they already understand that they, along with you, are part of the solution so that you can fix it together. When your client has that understanding and they see something coming up, oh, this could actually be a problem. Instead of reaching out to you to moan and complain, they're actually reaching out to you to go, hey, I see we could actually have a bit of a problem over here. Can we take a look at how we can solve this? Because now you've laid the groundwork for that. You've put something in place where they understand how you function and how they are involved with how you function. So instead of saving things that have already happened, you now have your client saving you from things that might happen in the future. So now you're on the front foot. If you can get into a position with your clients where you are on the front foot, where your relationship with them is such that they are able to approach you to fix problems that may arise in the future, when their need for your services expands, you are the first person they're going to call because they know they can communicate with you. They know that you are there to solve their problems. They know that if they have a problem, it won't be a problem for long. So if you have like a minor contract with a space and they go, well, actually, we've decided to increase, and because we're increasing, we want to go with a larger company. Instead of doing that, they'll be like, hey, we're increasing. You solve our problems so easily. Could you perhaps handle this extra? And you've just increased your contract because of how you've built the relationship. So it's not about being on the back foot and consistently fixing problems. It's about changing your mindset on not being on the back foot, but being on the front foot with your clients. You can relate, and that's a physical space. So that's relationship based. That's communication. That's having open books and open forum and, biting things off before they bite you and creating spaces, but it's done in such a way that you're building and you're growing. And okay, so you're growing. Can you handle this now? Yes, your contract just increased. Okay, we've decided to move into this space. Can you handle that? Yes. Okay, your space has just increased. So, but if you look at your contracts and you go, well, this is what my contract says, and I'm only going to do the bare minimum, and my guys must just do the work, and I'm going to let them moan, but I'm getting the job done. If you're in that space, you will find you will lose that contract. You will lose that contract because you're part of the solution. You're just getting the job done to the minimal requirement. Everybody's moaning, but you get the contract done. Your contract's not going to get renewed. They will find somebody else that's going to be on the front foot. You can rescue contracts if you have that kind of a relationship with your customer. Something major goes wrong. Oh my goodness me, something really bad goes wrong between your client and your team and the job getting done. But because they know that they have that relationship with you, they know, hey, listen, this happened. What are we going to do to fix it? Because they know you're there to help and to build and to grow. So stay on the back foot, lose a contract. You're on the front foot, maybe increase your contract. Maybe even land another contract with the same client for a different type of job or a different part of the process, or a different maybe they want you for can you achieve this or can you achieve that? If the answer is yes, build. If the answer is no, then save the contract you have. But and you can do the same thing. You can relate that same process because it's a physical process with a smaller group of clients. But you can take that same process and you can relate it to an online space with hundreds of clients. It's just the process is slightly different, but treat the people the same.
Exactly. I like that last statement. The process is a little bit different, but treat the people the same. Keyword there, treat the people the same. Like I said, I loved something that was huge because they didn't value the small people, quote unquote. Like, yeah, it's crazy. And as far as saving contracts, there's a real life example of that going on right now. So the Philippines, unfortunately, have been hit and hit and hit and hit and hit with massive destructive weather. And I know from the services I'm in and the circles I'm in is that the people are physically going to hotels, renting rooms, switching hotels if they don't have service. Like these people, I prompts to them, they are like going through it, doing their best to show up for work. Um, Most of them work overnight because of the time difference for the US. And so, somebody, it rubbed me the wrong way. Somebody complained the other day, I'm like, they have zero control over the weather. And what I am seeing is most of them are showing up for work, whether that means they're separate from their family because they have to go stay in this place, or, this hotel, the Wi-Fi got overloaded because everybody's there trying to work, and so on and so forth. But yeah, kudos to them. Kudos for um, figuring out a solution. And yeah, anytime I hear anybody complain about, I'm just like, no, do not, do not. What I am seeing is that these people are using the resources they have, which is very, very, very minimal, to get the work done still. And if they can't do it, then you need to have a different solution. So what can you do temporarily? Be like, hey, can I help you? Or you need to bring somebody on, or something. You have to shift things. And as a business owner, that's on you. Um, let's just say you're probably not going to your client and go, oh, all my contractors are in the Philippines and they can't work, and so I'm not going to do. You got to pivot. You got to make those changes. You got to figure that out. Just like you guys in Africa with, the power supply issues and stuff like that, you have to figure it out. You have to pivot. You have to be honest about it. And that's the only way we knew, was because some of them were like, yep, we had to switch hotels because the hotel, everybody went to this one because they had power and internet, and now stuff isn't working or everything's slow. And that's how we found out that most of them were hotel hopping and doing their best to still show up every day, against all the odds. And kudos to all the service providers in the Philippines, for sure. Go ahead, Peter, and we'll start wrapping up.
Yeah, I think this little section over here, Susan, this is going to be dedicated to you. So way back when the show first started, and I had multiple people doing multiple things in the background for the show, Susan was given a small portion of what it is she needed to do in the background. Over a period of time, because it was constantly being done perfectly on time, every time, I forgot that she was actually in the background doing what it is that she was doing. And she'd been doing it so steadfast for so long. And I remember the one day she reached out and contacted me, and she was like, I'm panicking because my Wi-Fi is down and I cannot do what I'm required to do on time. And she was panicking. And I was like, hold on a second, don't panic. It's not a train smash. And she also did the same thing. She had to go find a place where she could go, where there was Wi-Fi, where she could get access to Wi-Fi to do the things that I'd required her to do in that space, which is exactly what she did. But for me, it was the panic. It was the thing of, I might not be able to do what you require at this particular point in time. This is the problem I have. This is how I'm going to solve the problem. And in my mind, I was like, hold on a second, but it's not actually that desperate for me. But it was for her, because she was required to get it done by a specific time, to get it uploaded, to get it sorted out. And she felt like she might miss the deadline. And that is somebody I will work with, because that is somebody that I know that if they might not reach the deadline, they're going to panic, they're going to make a plan, they're going to put things in place, they're going to get it done come hell or high water. There might be an hour or two late, or there might be a day late, but they're going to jump straight into a conversation and be like, I'm panicking, I will get it done, and they do get it done. Susan in the background has been steadfast for how long? 4 years? And I think she's missed a deadline once, and she panicked so hard that, and jumped and ran to a space to just to get something done. If I was going to give a testimonial, then that is somebody I will give a testimonial for. Somebody that is consistent, that just really, if somebody goes to me, oh, I need a bookkeeper, or I need somebody that's going to do this, and if I recommend Susan, I know she's going to get it done. I know she's going to be on time. I know that if she thinks she's not going to be on time, she's going to panic and she's going to make a plan and she'll get it done. That's a testimonial. It's a real one, because she earned it. And recently she asked me, would you, and this is after now almost 5 years, would you be able to give me a testimonial? The answer to Susan, hell yes. I would definitely be able to give you a testimonial because you've been saving my bacon for the last 5 years. 100% I will give you a testimonial. So Susan, this is your testimonial. You are absolutely fantastic. You are steadfast. You are loyal. You are brilliant. This is your testimonial. And to anybody out there that's looking to hire her will most likely get the same. 100% guaranteed. There's your
Yes.
testimonial, Susan. You're fantastic.
100%. I agree. I agree. We adore Susan. And I have given her referrals before. So, and I have my understanding, everything went amazing. So definitely want to give a huge shout out to Suzanne because she does do a lot on the back end that, um, yeah, Peter and I don't have time, all the things. You don't want us doing it, including she'll take this recording and she will figure it out and she'll get it uploaded to the show. She does our covers. Transfers it over to Spotify. So make sure you like, share, and comment. Our links are in the show notes that she does for LinkedIn. So you can go there and click on that and book with us to, of course, talk about the show. We'd love to hear what you guys want in 2026. So I need to wrap my head around 2026. I'll be honest, I'm not there yet, but I definitely know I need to start wrapping my head around 2026. And let us know what do you want on the show? What have we covered that you liked? What have we covered that you want to expand on? What have we not covered that you want to know about? And maybe it's not something that Peter and I know, so that means I have to go find somebody. That's fine. I have no problem doing that. I get a little relaxed on that, but no issue in doing that. So if you're like, we want an expert, I don't know, on TED Talks. I know actually a couple of people that have done TED Talks. We haven't, but I know of like at least 2, if not 3 people that have done TED Talks. Stephanie that we had on the show before, she does TED Talks. So definitely we can use our resources combined and find you that topic. So definitely let us know what you want in 2026. It's November. We'll probably have I was just counting about 5 more shows before the end of the year. So yeah, let us know what you want for 2026. And we will definitely let you know like what our holiday break is going to be. Peter and I will actually discuss that in just a bit. And then of course, I am Sondra. I'm the owner of Get It Done Coaching. I help people get things done by setting the goals, creating action plans, finding them the resources, or doing the work myself if that's my lane. If not, using my resources and my network to get things done. So again, schedule a call with me. I love getting to know people. I just did a coffee chat with somebody last week I've known for years. We've never taught business, and we actually sat down and talked business. So that was fun, and we're going to have some follow-up conversations. So definitely love doing that internationally and locally, of course. So Peter, do you want to take us out?
Awesome. So it's come to that point in the show where we have come to the end. It's sad, but at the same time, I need to eat. So we have to go because I have to eat. Ladies and gentlemen, may all your wildest entrepreneurial dreams come true. Peace
See
out.
you guys next week.